So this past weekend was the Modern Showcase Challenge, where the best and brightest in the Magic the Gathering online space in the modern format duel head-to-head for 9 to 12 matches and see who comes out on top. And this past weekend, over the course of the Swiss rounds, there was one deck that was standing undefeated. Indomitable Creativity dominated over the course of the Swiss rounds. I haven't actually played this deck yet, so I wanted to kind of get my hands on it and get a feel for the deck that a lot of people consider to be the best in the modern format. The deck is immensely powerful, combining cards like Indomitable Creativity, the name of the deck, where you get to destroy your own creatures to basically flip cards off the top of your library until you reveal another creature card. And within this deck list, you only have one other creature. Well, you only have one creature, which is Archon of Cruelty. You have a plan B, which is to persist an Archon back from the graveyard. And then post-sideboard, you can even have an Emrakul in the deck. The deck can go quickly as turn 4 to get an Archon into play. I guess turn 3 with a persist. Or it can play the long game because it has a very resilient strategy between Wrenn and 6, Spell Pierce, Lightning Bolt, Fable, Iteration. I mean, it just plays both kind of angles really, really well. And for that reason, because it has really good answers and really good threats, and it can navigate the game as it sees fit, this is widely regarded as the best deck in the format. The sideboard, so this is the sideboard that the person who won the tournament was playing. I'm recording this after the league is finished, and I forgot to put the 15th card into this sideboard. The 15th card from their list was a Strike It Rich, which I was going to swap out for a second iteration, but I forgot to put it in, so we ran the league with a 14-card sideboard. So when you watch this league, yeah, we're running with less than a full deck here. So we're going to jump into the league. This deck is immensely powerful. I'm excited to give this a try, so let's do it. We are playing against INESTATORMTG Magic the Gathering, MTG. They have mulligan to 6 there on the play. I think we can keep this 7. I think it kind of does what we want it to do, and then Fable can kind of sift our extra cards, so we'll keep this. Okay, opponent keeps a 6-card hand, and they lead on a Scalding Tarn and pass. Okay, we drew into a Creativity, which is decent. Play on our Bloodstained Mire, pass the turn here. I think we're going to be fetching for our Triome, one of our Triomes, and try to Wrenn 6 on turn 2, depending on what they're doing here. Okay, Steam Vents tapped. So probably not a mirror match because they would have fetched and gotten themselves a Triome there. Maybe it is. Fetch themselves a Stomping Ground into a Glimpse of Tomorrow. Okay. Yield until the end step here. Okay, so we're going to get our Proving Ground here. Okay, from here, we're going to get our Wrenn 6 in line. Like, they could potentially Cascade, but they don't have anything in play, so it'll be pretty weak if they do. So I'm not too concerned about that. I'll play out our Wrenn 6. And now our mana should be good from this point forward. Return our Bloodstained Mire to hand, and then we'll pass the turn. So next turn will really be the turn where we're faced with a decision. Do we play out our Fable, or do we fetch from, or do we play out have our Spell Pierce up? Sorry, thinking about like 3 things at once here as they're making plays. Okay, so they're going to grief us. Not typical in these decks, but that's fine. Makes sense. Grief, discard, grief. I wonder how many black cards they actually have in the list, though. That's strange. So I think they take the Creativity here, most likely. So with this playing out like this, I'm going to dump down this plant token, and I'm going to play out a Fable, I think. Okay, we drew into another Spell Pierce. So I'll play out the Bloodstained Mire. I'm just going to fetch basic here, I think. Basic Mountain. Play out the Fable. Get our token. And we're going to kill their plant. We're just going to regulate how much they have on board here. Pass turn. Okay, their Glimpse will come off suspend next turn. Okay, they do nothing. Okay. We're going to use Fable. We're going to discard, I think, Mine and a Foothills. And we'll draw 2 here. So we drew into another Mine. I could start dumping down their lands with the Besage You. I don't think we need to do that right now. Start with a plus. I'm going to put the Mine back in hand. I think we're actually going to play out of Foothills. I'm going to attack for 2. The question from here is, do I Do I care if they have if they glimpse with only 3 permanents in play? And I think I'm just gonna let this happen. I don't know what can come out of Pandora's box here, but I think we're okay with this happening. I think the issue is like the next glimpse, potentially. Okay, Ashen Rider, that's fine. So they have no lands at this point. I don't think this is a position they're necessarily winning from. They're gonna take out our Proving Ground, sure. Okay, they have a land. It was a strange choice with the Ashen Rider. And from here, I think we'll get our other Triome, Forest Island Mountain, or maybe we get our Blood Crypt. I think we'll get our Triome here. Okay, we will discard 2. I'll discard a Spell Pierce and a Dwarven Mine here. We drew into an Unholy Heat. We only have 3 card types. What would be card type number 4? Okay, we're gonna bring back a Dwarven Mine here. Then we're gonna Creativity for 2. We're just gonna lock this game up here and now. Ashen Rider will be able to take out one of the Archons, but I don't think that matters. Okay, they block, that's fine. I suppose I could Creativity for 3. All right, our opponent scoops, they see what's happening. Okay, game 2. We're gonna bring in some more interaction. I think we're gonna bring in Aether Gusts, Flusterstorms, Thought Seizes. Maybe we don't even need the Thought Seizes. We're gonna bring in 4 4 counters and take out these 4 removal spells. We'll submit. Opponent keeps their 7. I think we'll keep this. Like having interaction, having Wrenn and 6, I think that's kind of what we want. Okay, another piece of interaction, that's nice. We'll play out our Bloodstained Mire past the turn. Opponent fetches a Steam Vents, end of turn, into a Colony Garden, sure. And at end of our turn, we're gonna fetch, and we'll get our, I think we can get our Triome here, and we'll go to untap. We drew into an iteration. I'm just gonna play out our other fetch land. I'm gonna pass from here. Next turn, I'll play out the Wrenn and 6. Okay, and they lead with a Grief, discarding an Ashen Rider. They have 4 cards in hand. So they stack their triggers incorrectly, but that's fine. I think you take the Wrenn and 6 here, given the way my hand looks. They take the Spell Pierce. Okay. So I suppose they could do something at instant speed, so I'm not actually going to fetch here. I drew into a Bloodstained Mire. Okay, play out our Mountain, and we'll pass from here. And now if they have like 2 Violent Outbursts or a Violent Outburst and a Shardless Agent, they'll be able to stop us, but okay, we're going to fetch here. Get our Proving Ground. I drew a Strike It Rich. Okay, we do need to play out our land first, so Mountain Forest. I'm going to fetch right now. We're going to get another Steam Vents here, and we'll shock that in. Green, red, Wrenn and 6. Wrenn and 6, and we're going to dump down this plant token. And I feel like if we get one more untap step, we're probably winning this game. We'll see if we get there, though. I drew a second Aether Gust. That's pretty good. We'll bring back our Bloodstained Mire here. We're going to play that out. We'll cast a Strike It Rich, and then we'll just pass the turn. Really don't have to do anything here. Like, we're way ahead on lands. We can kind of just sit around and wait. From here, I think we'll get a Dwarven Mine. We'll get our first token into play. So let's bring back our Bloodstained Mire, play it out. So we're at the point now where we can pretty much hard cast an Archon, swing for 1. I'm still just not going to do anything. I have no reason to. Next turn we'll cast an Iteration, I think. Violent Outburst, sure. Okay, there's the Glimpse. We're going to put the Glimpse on top or bottom. Okay, Shardless Agent, sure. And we will do the same with this one. You can look at their whole deck at this point, and they have a Shardless Agent in play. A bunch of Atraxas, Ashen Riders, Invasion of Alara, Archon of Cruelties, Emrakul. Yes, they got some big hits. Omniscience. Okay, so from here, I'm going to bolt down this Shardless. I'm just going to keep limiting how many permanents they have in play. I'm going to fetch, and I think I'm going to get myself... I'll get another Dwarven Mine here. There's another Dwarven Mine. Okay, so from here, I'm going to lead Iteration. We'll put Spell Pierce into hand, Spell Pierce on the bottom, Creativity in exile. Return a Bloodstained Mire to hand. Play out a Bloodstained Mire. I'm going to fetch and shock. We get our other Steam Vents into play? Yes. I guess I should attack first. I'm going to leave the Triome back. I'm actually going to use the treasure token just in case they have something like a Force of Vigor in hand. Double Archon, sure. I discard a Glimpse and an Emrakul, sure. They have 4 cards in hand. And they scoop. We're 1-0. We are going to be on the draw, and our opening 7, I think this is a mulligan. We got a bunch of blue cards and no way to cast them, so we'll ship it. And this is not very good either. We're going to mulligan down to 5, and our 5-card hand I think we'll keep. And then I think we get rid of a Dwarven Mine. And then the question is, do we get rid of the Unholy Heat, the Archon? I think it's probably one of those two. I don't know what the opponent's doing. Like, the Persist is obviously not as good if we don't have the Archon in hand. But we don't have a way to discard the Archon as it stands. I think I'm going to get rid of the Archon and go with this. Just because of the way our hand is built, I think I just wanted to have some interaction. Opponent starts Breeding Pool tapped. Going to our turn, we'll start with play out our Triome and pass the turn. We drew into a land. Had we known that was what was on top, we could have got rid of one of our lands, but obviously you don't want to do that. Opponent gets Basic Forest. Wow, we're playing the same deck twice. Okay. That's strange. Very strange. Different variation of the same deck, but it is the same deck, and that's probably our best draw. Okay, cool. Opponent has 5 cards in hand. Okay, second Wave Sifter, sure. It's so strange that we got paired against this again. Like, this is probably less than 1% of the metagame, this deck. Alright, we'll fetch. We're going to get our other Triome here. Alright, we drew into the Archon again. So, from here, I think we're going to go Iteration. I'll put Wrenn into our hand. Bolt on bottom, bolt on top. Play a land, and then we'll just pass the turn. We're definitely leaving up this Spell Pierce. We're not going to bolt anybody right now. 3 mana, 4 mana. Alright, so they're going to leave mana up, shardless, sure. Into a Glimpse, sure. This is so weird that we're playing this deck again. We'll get a Steam Vent here, untapped. And we will Spell Pierce. So if they have another one next turn, we're going to be in pretty big trouble. But if they don't, we'll be okay. They have 3 cards in hand. Drew into a Bolt. Not really what we're looking for. Play out our Wrenn and 6, plus our Wrenn and 6. Play our Tarn, pass the turn. Okay, so they suspend a Glimpse, so this tells us that they don't have another one. And they're going to attack into our Wrenn and 6. I'm going to dump this down right here and now. And we'll fetch here. I'll put a Mine in play just in case we draw ourselves into a creativity here. I suppose I could have kept that fetch land up. Drawing another Spell Pierce actually pretty good. Put the Tarn back up. Land. So now we just kind of need a way to get this Archon into our graveyard, or we need to draw into a creativity. Opponent fetches. Oh, I didn't realize our opponent actually has 5 lands, so Spell Pierce isn't going to do anything here. They draw a card. The clock is ticking here with this this Glimpse. Draw another card with a Clue. The hope here is that they try to outburst right now. They drew another land. Nothing. I'm gonna fetch again. I'll get another Dwarven Mine. Back to our turn. Drew another land. Not really what we're looking for. Play out the Tarn. Swing for 2. Opponent draws another card with their Clue. Sure. They have 5 cards in hand now. 6 cards in hand. Glimpse is down to 1. We got one more turn for this. Alright, so that's all of their Glimpses most likely. So Cascade Spell doesn't matter at this point. Alright, I'm just going to fetch at this point and just get a Blood Crypt into play. Another Wrenn and 6. That doesn't really do anything. So we're really close to a Wrenn Ultimate, which isn't going to really do anything, unfortunately. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 1 mana short of being able to just hard cast this Archon. So depending on what they hit off this Glimpse, just a hard cast Archon might be able to deal with it. We shall see. Alright, first Glimpse coming off the stack. Let's see. Nervous. Okay. Jin-Gitaxias at the big. Haven't seen this guy. Okay. Yes, that might be a little problematic. That one might be problematic. They're fetching during the upkeep here. Land tapped. We're going to bolt down this plant token EOT, and they just drew 7 cards. We're going to fetch EOT as well. We'll put a Stomping Ground into play, I guess. Okay, so we drew into a Stomping Ground. I'm going to ultimate this Renin 6 just because if I draw into another, like, well, let's start with 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. We're going to start with this Archon. I'm just going to get basic Mountain here. Okay, yeah, so the Jingataxis is the problematic one of the two. And they discard a Sarah's Emissary. Alright, so we're going to ultimate our Renin 6. We're going to be forced to discard our hand. And then depending on what happens from here, we may be in trouble, we might not be in trouble. We do have a lethal attack, so if they can't put something on the board, we will be able to just win next turn. But I think they're out of glimpses here, so I don't think there's anything really big that they can do at this point. It's interesting they didn't just cast that out. I think they're out of glimpses. I don't think that, unless they're playing 4, but I think they only run 3. Yeah, they got nothing. They're just dead. That's so funny. They scoop. Singleton Archon gets it done. And we would have had another one next turn. Okay. So I'm going to board the same way I did last time. Flusterstorms and Aether Gusts. And then I'm going to board out our Unholy Heats and a Lightning Bolt. I wonder if we bring in the Hitagetsu as well. I feel like that's fine. Lightning Bolt is probably just bad. We'll go like that. Okay, I like this opening 7. We'll keep this. 2 pieces of interaction. Drew into a Creativity. Not terrible. Opponent plays out a Misty, fetches. It's going to be a Wave Sifter. Yep. Limited Superstar Wave Sifter. We'll fetch, and we'll get our Ketria Triome. Alright, moving back to our turn. Another Dwarven Mine. Not really the land we're looking for, but we'll take it. Opponent draws a card. Interesting. They're missing their 3rd land drop, I guess. There it is. Alright, we'll fetch, and we'll get our other Triome. Fetch land is our best draw from here. Another Spell Pierce. Okay. Dwarven Mine, not great, but we're going to play that out. I wonder if I was supposed to get Steam Vents with this one. I think that's probably what I was supposed to do. Alright, Blood Crypt. I think we'll shock in this Blood Crypt. Yes. I mean, we're pretty clearly representing Spell Pierce at this point, but I think we kind of have to play to this a little bit. If they have something like Fire Ice, they can take me off of it. Outburst, okay. So they're going to be able to double. So they'll do it now and they'll do it on their turn. A Glimpse, we will Spell Pierce that. And the next one, we will see what it holds. Okay, here it is. Let's see it. They got 4 hits. All right, Elish Norn. Okay, this is gonna be a tough one to beat. Okay, we're gonna scoop this one up. We're not beating this one. All right, game 3. I wonder if we bring in Thoughtseizes. I feel like these 2 are fine to get rid of. We'll go with this. Okay, we got a ton of interaction. I think we run with this. We will keep the mulligan to 6, mulligan to 5. All right, they keep their 5-card hand. Lead on our Triome, pass turn. Basic Mountain, sure. Another Spell Pierce, okay. I'm gonna fetch a Steam Vents to start, yes. Green, red, play out our Renin 6, plus Mire back to hand. So next turn we'll be able to Thoughtseize. I guess if they have a Veil of Summer, that will cut us off of that, but they can't have Veil of Summer, never mind. Because they would cascade into it, so. We'll play out our Mire. I'll fetch. We're gonna get our Blood Crypt. Yes. Plus Thoughtseize. What you working with? Alright, we'll get rid of the Outburst. The other hand is pretty bad. Terastodon, Glimpse, Island, Caverns. They drew into a mountain, so that gives us that information. Glimpse goes into exile, sure. We drew into another piece of interaction from here, sure. Fetch land, and I'll fetch now. I think we'll get I guess we get a Dwarven Mine, or do I get a Steam Vents? I'll get a Steam Vents tapped for now. I feel like we're gonna have some time to work here. Bring back our Mire and pass the turn. Okay, they got all their basics over there. Another Thoughtseize. They have 3 cards in hand. I don't know that we need to Thoughtseize. I think we'll get a Dwarven Mine from here. Glimpse comes off exile in 2 turns. And we'll discard a Bloodstained Mire. Glimpse down to 1. Drew another Renin 6. Okay, I'm going to ultimate this Renin 6, I think, to start with. The question is, do I cast out the other one now? Land, and we'll attack. Alright. Glimpse is coming off of the stack here. So we're going to have to Aether Gust this one. There's too much going on here. Put it on the bottom. Okay. So the next one we'll be able to Flusterstorm. Pretty straightforward. I think we're going to get another Dwarven Mine here. 3/6. Bring back a Bloodstained Mire. Land. We'll attack for 2. And then I wonder if they have any more basics. I'm tempted to just fire this off at their land here. I wonder if I do this draw step. Oh yeah, I guess they can get anything off of that. We're going to get a Proving Ground here. Another Spell Pierce. Infinite Spell Pierces. We'll bring Beseiju back here. Move to combat. I'll swing for 2. We're going to dump down this Thoughtseize. So they're almost at the point where they can hard cast this Terastodon. 6, they need 2 more mana. We'll get rid of it before it comes to that. I should have Beseiju down, that was a mistake. Alright, that's a pretty good one. Return a Bloodstained Mire. Move to combat. Swing. Play out the Mire. And then we'll just pass the turn from here. And we'll get rid of Spell Pierce. These cards, they don't really matter whether they're in our hands or in our graveyard, so it's pretty equivalent either way. Alright, we'll Beseiju down the Breeding Pool here. Another Dwarven Mine, another land. I'll bring back our Beseiju here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we can hard cast the Archon now. I don't think we want to. I think we just keep attacking in. I don't think we really need to do anything from here. No, we'll undo this. Wait on the Beseiju just in case we need to like double Aether Gust or something. I don't think we'll need to, but just in case. Berberask. We'll Aether Gust. I'll get a Stomping Ground here. Another Aether Gust in hand. Okay, I think we got this one pretty locked up at this point, but we'll move to combat. We'll swing. Discard a Spell Pierce. Pass turn. Opponent is down to 5. We'll Spell Pierce this. Bone Scoops. Against JeffSkilz. We are on the play, currently 2-0. Let's go. Let's go. Sand has a Renin 6, so I think we're going to keep it. Gigantha on the other side of the battlefield. We will lead with a Foothills. Pass turn. Opponent keeps their 7-card hand as well. Oh, take off our draw step stop. Opponent plays Basic Mountain. Alright, so this is Prowess. I don't know that this is going to be a good matchup. We'll see. Drawing into something like a Lightning Bolt would be great. We'll play out, I think, our Ketria Triome to start. Like, we have plenty of lands at this point, so I don't think, like, they're going to attack into our Renin 6. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think it's fine. So we'll just let that happen. Our mana base deals us so much damage, which is very unfortunate. But I suppose if we can stick an Archon, we'll be good. Basic Mountain, Basic Mountain. See if they attack into Ren. Okay, they're attacking me, which I'd prefer they didn't. Okay, we only take 1. 2-drop. Alright, here's the new hotness. Kenra Swiftspear, which is a 2/2 trample prowess, and you can transform it, and it has double prowess on the backside, which is fairly scary. We're going to try to kill this thing. Whether or not we're going to be able to is unclear, but we're going to try to. We're going to be taking 3 here off our land. And if this does not work, we're probably in pretty big trouble. I think we're going to get our Steam Vents here. Yes. So we're going to deal 2 damage, and we're going to draw 2, discard 2. We will cast 2 damage to the Swiftspear, and we will draw 2, discard 2. Alright, Unholy Heat is really good. We'll dump 2 of our fetch lands, and we got rid of it. Nice. And we'll bring back a Foothills, and pass the turn. Alright, we're at 14. Would really love a creativity in the very near future. Creativity would be wonderful. Like, if we can just get an Archon into play, I think we win. And it's Triple Mountain. They swing for 1. Soulscar Mage, sure. And they have 4 cards in hand. Alright, we drew into a Spell Pierce, which isn't terrible. Not great, not terrible. Alright, so here's what I'm going to do. I'll lead with a Dwarven Mine here. So this is a mistake. I should have waited for the trigger to go off the stack here. Alright, Alright, so I'm going to Unholy Heat Soulscar Mage. We'll start there. I'm leaving up my Ren activation because I'm going to try to minus the Ren. If they cast a spell here, I'm going to Prismari Command the Swift Spear in response. Okay, there's a Manamorphose. Cast 2 damage, draw 2, discard. Cast 2 damage, draw 2, discard. Okay, discard Dwarven Mine and the Foothills. Okay, we're going to switch phases here. Let's see if they cast another spell. They don't. And now we're going to dump down this Swift Spear, or Soulscar. Okay, I like the way that worked out. Still at 13 life. Our hand looks pretty good right now. Dragon's Rage, sure. Only in a 1/1. They only have 2 card types. Alright, there's their blue source. Lava Dart, sure. Keep a card on top. We drew another Ren 6. We're going to dump down this Dragon's Rage to start with. And then I think we're going to Iteration here. Alright, we'll put an Archon into hand. Archon on the bottom. Cast out our Dwarven Mine. And then we're going to cycle this Proving Ground EOT. Depending on what they do, I guess we could potentially be Spell Piercing here. Alright, Swift Spear, sure. They have 2 cards in hand. See where they send this attack. Attack at me. We'll block. I'm fine with the block here. I think the plan here is just like stall until I can get Archon into play. Okay, another Ren 6. Not really what we're looking for. Okay, creativity. Not great. So I can try to dump down this Swift Spear, or I can just try to keep chump blockers. Bring back the Proving Ground. I'm gonna play out the Foothills. I think I'm gonna cycle this now. See what we draw into. A Fable. Fable's not terrible. Alright, so I'm gonna play that out right now. We'll go down to 12. I'll get another Dwarven Mine. I just don't want to deal myself a lot of damage here. Like, I understand we're using all of our Dwarven Mines, but I think it's okay. And if this Fable token sticks around, next turn we'll have an Archon, which is really good. Really, really good. Okay, they cast an Iteration. Lava Dart, sure. I guess they dart down the Goblin. Okay, they hit the Dwarf, sure. Okay, so we got to think here. So if they have a Bolt, they'll put us down to 9, 8, 7. I don't think they can kill us. We're just going to let this through. I guess if they have like Mutagenic Growth, Bolt, and then Double Dart, we'll die. So we'll see if that's what they have. Okay, they don't. We're still alive. We're at 9. Now if we get another turn with this Shaman token, which I think we will, I think we'll be okay. Okay. Yes. We'll discard double Ren 6. Okay. We're going to lead with an attack here. Okay. Let this first start go through. The second one we're going to Spell Pierce. Begin combat. Swing. Get a token. Plus Ren 6. Get a Dwarven Mine back. Play out the Dwarven Mine. Good. Play Strike It Rich. 5. Creativity for 2. I'm going to target both of these treasures. Okay. Our opponent scoops. We're up a game. Alright, game 2. How do we beat Prowess? Prowess. Okay, so from here I think I just want to get rid of the cards that are slow. So maybe we get rid of Strike It Rich, a Creativity, and a Fable. And we go with this. Okay, I don't love this opening 7. I also don't hate it. I think we're going to keep it. Opponent's down to 17. They fetch, play out a Swift Spear. They start with an attack. Sure. We drew into a Bolt, which is actually pretty good. I'm actually going to lead on the Bloodstained Mire. And I'll probably fetch Shock, getting a Steam Vents. Okay, second Swift Spear, sure. Okay, take 2. Alright, so this affords me the ability to get my Triome here. So I'm not taking damage off my land. Okay, we drew another removal spell, which is pretty good. Okay, so I'm going to wait for them to fetch here. We're going to leave with an Unholy Heat on one, Unholy Heat on the other. Alright, I like the way that worked out. Opponent has 5 cards in hand, and they do nothing. Wow. I don't love this Beseiju. Okay, we drew a land. We're good there. We're good. Opponent does nothing. Okay, I'm going to fetch... I think we're going to fetch our other Triome from here. We drew into a Spell Pierce. Okay. I don't think the Beseiju is going to do anything, so I'm just going to play this out. Just to kind of develop our board state, work our way towards a turn 8 Archon. Like, as long as our opponent isn't doing anything, we're really not being pressured at all. Fetch land? Ren and 6. That's the same thing. Same thing. That's probably our best draw, to be honest. We'll bring back the Scalding Tarn. Alright. Opponent bolts me. Okay. Yeah, they kind of had to do something, I guess. We're not going to fetch here. We're just going to leave that up. We drew into a Dwarven Mine. Play out our Bloodstained Mire here. Pass the turn. Opponent looking for the third land here. They bolt me. Sure, I'm down to 9. 3, 4, 5. I wonder if we just get a bunch of Dwarven Mines at this point. Life total is getting a little bit low here. I drew into another Spell Pierce. Play another Dwarven Mine. 3, 4, 5. Alright, we're going to leave it intact for 2. I guess we only have one blue source up, which is a little unfortunate, but... So, like, their best card is Lava Dart, and they can take out 2 of these, but we'll be able to counter the second dart, and then we'll be able to Creativity for 2. So I think we have this locked up. Oh. That was supposed to be for 3. I'm not sure why that was for 1. Okay. Yeah, that sucks. That was supposed to be for 3. Alright. Whatever. We'll make him sacrifice a land. That's really unfortunate. That was supposed to be Creativity for 3. I'm not sure why it didn't do that. Misclick, oh well. Alright, well, we'll still have an Archon next turn. Okay, opponent has nothing. Moving back to our turn. My opponent says, if it makes you feel any better, I only have 1 land. Yes. Yes, you do. We're going to put this Bloodstained Mire back in our hand. I don't know if I plus my Ren last turn. I think I might have missed that. The activation. We're going to swing for 2. I'm actually going to wait 1 more turn on this Archon. I'm just going to hold up all this stuff just to deal with whatever they're doing, and I don't want to take extra damage off my land, so I'm gonna wait 1 more turn. Okay, opponent has 2 lands now. So Prismatic Ending for 0. Sure. We're down to 6. We're going to get our Blood Crypt tapped. Turn a Mire. Play a land. So we can still win despite our horrendous misclick that we had here. This will put us up to 9. And it should put us out of range. We should be good at this point. My opponent says, oh, right, that's a thing. Hard casting the Archon. Yep, that works too. That works too. Opponent discards a Lava Dart. We'll swing in. Maybe we shouldn't have swung. Like, it really doesn't matter, I don't think. Like, we just connect with this Archon and it's game over. We also just have Ren Ultimate next turn, so we can just bolt them 3 times, potentially. Opponent says, good games, good games. Should have won a few turns earlier, but it still works. We're going to be on the play against ClaymoreTobi, 3-0. We have not been losing much recently. We have been doing well. I think this opening hand is very acceptable. Opponent reveals a Gigantha. Really like the art on this Gigantha. I think that's super sweet. Not a big fan of full art cards, but this one I can get on board with. It's just so much better than the original. We'll keep our 7. The Bloodstained Mire hand. This hand on the play too just feels really strong. Lead Bloodstained Mire, pass the turn. Opponent plays out a Hollowed Fountain tapped. Yield into the end step. We're going to get ourselves a Triome here. We'll get our, I think Ketria is probably the most important one. Bloodstained Mire. I'm going to shock and get our Blood Crypt. Yes. And we'll go green, red, Ren, plus get back our Bloodstained Mire. I'm anticipating this getting Prismatic Ending. I'm not sure what they're playing. This might be Breach. We'll see. See what they're doing over there. Bobble. Okay, so no Shredder here. I looked up my top card. Saga into play. So this is like Breach combo? Okay, Breach combo. We have the answer to that, which is nice. And they mill 3 cards. This is an interesting line they're taking here. I'm not sure why they're doing that right now, but that's fine. Played our Bloodstained Mire. Our opponent knows about that. We'll bring back another Mire. And we're just going to pass turn from here. The hope end of turn is we'll Prismari Command. Draw 2, discard 2, make a treasure. And then our next turn we can kind of go crazy. I got Saga up to 2. 3rd land. Alright, so we're going to use our Prismari Command here. I think I'm just going to fetch basic here to preserve my life total a little bit. Cast, draw 2, and a treasure token. Okay, I would like to draw 2. I would like to create a treasure. Okay, an Archon into hand. I mean, we really don't need these lands, so we'll just dump the lands. I suppose dumping the Archon in case we drew the Persist, but we only have one Persist in the list, so all right, more lands. Lands, more lands. Not really what we're looking for. We'll bring back another Bloodstained Mire, and I think we just cast that out. Pass the turn. We're 1 turn off of a Ren ultimate, well 2 turns off. All right, Saga token here. I'm gonna bolt this down. Maybe that was a mistake. I don't know. See if they make another one. Nope, just adding mana here. Okay, Springleaf Drum, sure. Into an Amber, sure. To a Ragavan, sure. They didn't dash it, a little strange. I wonder if they intended to do that. Okay, so this is a Breach, sure. So they're gonna have to get the Grinding Station into play. I think we should be able to stop this, I think. I don't think they're gonna have enough cards to be able to make this happen. We'll Spell Pierce. Yeah, without a fetch land here, I don't think they can really do much. All right, I'm gonna pay 1. I'm gonna get a Dwarven Mine here, just in case we draw into a Creativity. Breach goes to the graveyard, sure. Beseiju, not bad. Yeah, we might be saving that one. Or I suppose I can Beseiju the Saga and then bring the Beseiju back. I actually like that. Or maybe do I dump the Ragavan to start with? It's a little tricky. I feel like the Beseiju is probably better. Second Dwarven Mine. So we have blockers for the Ragavan. Beseiju the Saga. Plus, we'll return the Beseiju. Okay, we'll pass the turn. So they're up to 4 cards in hand. Teferi, sure. They bounce our treasure. Okay, we'll add a green. We'll fizzle that. We're gonna hit that with the trigger on the stack. We'll get an extra land off of it. Okay, now from here I think we're in pretty good shape because we have our Ren ultimate, then we can just get another Ren back. Yeah, so we're gonna do this. And now I guess the question is Prismari command? Okay, so we're gonna shock in the Steam Vents here. Yes. Ren in 6, dump down the Ragavan. We're gonna kill the Teferi, and then we'll Prismari command, dump down the Springleaf Drum, and we're gonna create a treasure token. Oh. Cast, destroy, discard a land. Okay, so now we have our Spell Pierce up, we have our Lightning Bolt up. 5, 6, 7, and we have Archon next turn if we want it. Iteration, we'll let that happen, that's fine. Want to get to Bobble, sure. They look at their top card, so they have a fetch land. Second iteration. So from here, I think we'll Spell Pierce that one. Fetch land, and then they pass the turn. So from here, like if we just keep drawing lands, we're pretty happy with that. We'll return Beseiju to hand, that has the most utility, and we'll swing for 2. Opponent has 2 cards in hand, 3 cards in hand. Iteration, sure. Otawara, sure. Play it out. Bolt down my Ren in 6, little unfortunate. 6. So it's tempting to flashback this Prismari right now. I wonder if that's the right move though. Okay, discard an Archon and a Lightning Bolt. Sure. Bitter Union, okay. That one could be pretty good potentially. So I can just cast an Archon here, but if they get the chance to breach, we just lose. I'm gonna lead with an attack here. I'm gonna attack for 1. Maybe I just hold all this up. I think that might be right. We'll just wait. We'll wait 1 more turn. Breach, sure. Yeah, maybe I messed up here. Ragavan, sure. Grinding Station. So from here, I can destroy the Ragavan. So I'm gonna deal 2 and then draw 2, discard 2. Okay, and that was what we wanted there. Okay, so they're not gonna be able to kill us this turn. We'll destroy target artifact and then create a treasure. Cast, destroy target treasure, destroy target artifact, discard. And now if they recast it again, we can Spell Pierce it, I believe. So they go Ragavan again, they go Amber again, and then we can Spell Pierce the Grinding Station. Ragavan, yes. Amber, sure. It's kind of a crazy turn, right? All right, they're out of gas. We're good. Opponent says GG's. I think it was just game 1, but Breach goes away. They have 1 card left in hand. All right, Ren in 6 is a really good draw. I'll play our Ren in 6 plus We'll get our Beseiju back, and then we will we'll pass turn from here. Opponent has 1 card in hand. So they're going to have to rebuild a little bit just because they don't have a graveyard. So we're in a pretty good position. They are able to cast Giganta out, but that shouldn't be too big of a deal. We just need to find ourselves a creativity at this point. They just play a land and pass. We'll just move back to our turn. We're not going to do anything here. Iteration's a good one. Let's start with a plus. Put a Foothills into hand. Iteration. Okay, we got to persist and a creativity. 1 into hand. We actually don't need the creativity at this point, so put the heat up. Undo. Can I undo that? Okay. 1 on the bottom. Exile 1 of them. Okay. So you can actually double persist because we have 2 Archons. Our opponent scoops. Alright, we're up a game. They have Unholy Heat in hand. Sure. Game 2. We're going to bring in some Nature's Claims. Another Beseiju. Some Aether Gusts. And I think Hitagitsu is fine. Like, we're the control deck here. We can kind of just attempt to bide our time and then just win when the timing is right. So we're just going to shave like 1 odds, I think. And we'll bring in these 6. Okay, our mana is a little sketchy here. I wonder if we can do better than this. This is kind of already a 6 land hand and our mana is pretty bad. I'm going to mulligan this one. Okay, and I think I like this one better. We'll keep, and we'll bottom an Archon, I think. Go with this. Opponent keeps 7 card hand. Flooded Strand, Bobble. Look at their top, sure. Fetch. Steam Vents tapped, sure. We'll draw a card. So we know they didn't like their top card, which is nice. We drew into a creativity, which is fine. We're going to lead Foothills, then we'll just pass the turn. Maybe the move there was to lead on Steam Vents tapped. Unclear. Okay, Bobble number 2. So they don't have an Emery, otherwise they wouldn't have done that. They have another fetch land in hand. They like their top card this time. Iteration. Interesting. They already played a land, so I'm not getting full value out of this iteration unless there's another 0 on top. Fetch, get our Triome. Okay, from here I think we're actually probably pretty safe to cast our Bitter Reunion, so I think I'm going to do that. And we're going to discard a fetch land, and we'll draw 2. So we just need to not die this turn, which I think we should be okay with. So another iteration, sure. This one they should be able to get full value off of. There's a Tarn, sure. Back to our turn. We drew into an Archon. Would have liked that a turn earlier. I think we just play out our fetch land and pass the turn. So if we can get 1 Archon into play and give it haste, that's a lethal. No, it's not. It's close to lethal. Tormod's Crypt, sure. Not really doing much right now. This is another iteration. This one I think I'm going to counter. They're going to counter me back. Okay, so they missed their land drop that turn. They have 6 cards in hand. I'm going to keep this Scalding Tarn uncracked. I think they have a Flusterstorm in hand. I'm going to play this untapped, and I'm just going to pass turn from here. Consider, sure. Okay, there's their land, which they missed last turn. EE on 0, sure. Emery, sure. We will be bolting that one down for sure. Can't allow that guy to stick around. Breach goes into the graveyard. So if they play like an Amber here, we'll bolt it in response. Okay, I'm putting them on Flusterstorm, so I'm actually going to wait to bolt this. We'll do that now. We're a little bit vulnerable here. We only have 1 counter spell up, which is a little unfortunate. Like, we would have liked to hit a land drop there. Opponent casts a Grinding Station, sure. Grinding Station and pass the turn. Land. Okay, Unholy Heat. Still not what we're looking for. Okay, there's the Breach. And we'll Aether Gust that. Definitely cannot allow that to come into play. Say Spell Bomb, sure. They have 2 cards in hand. So we could force them to fetch here. We could get ourselves a token and then creativity, and then they're forced to pop the EE from there, I think. Are they even though? No, they're actually not even, so another Archon. That is such a bad draw. Really just want to find land. Like Ren and 6 would be acceptable as well. Oh wow, they fetch away the Breach. I guess they have another one? That's kind of crazy. We're looking at their top card. I guess they have another fetch land. They draw a card, sure. Shredder, sure. Okay, Ren 6, not bad. Alright, so we can start doing stuff here. Is this a spell pierce? That's annoying. Yeah, I guess we just gotta let that happen. Okay, another breach. We're running out of answers here. We'll just get basic mountain, and then we will Aether Gust again. Time is starting to become a little bit of an issue. Our opponent only has 8 minutes left on the clock. Alright, we drew into a persist. That does not get us anywhere. 3 card types will yield through the turn. We draw into the breach. We're going to unsubstantiate this. We're just going to eat up some time. So if they try to do this turn, I think we'll be able to get out of it. Okay. So like their line, I guess, is to get like Emery. I don't know if they actually have an Amber, so I don't know if they're going to be able to do this. I think they're going to be short on mana if they don't find an Amber. Well, sure. Opponent's clock is ticking. This is only game 2 here. Still no Amber. Okay, there's the Amber. That's what they're looking for. So sequencing-wise, they have to cast out the Amber first. We'll see if they do this correctly. Okay, there's the Amber. There's the Grape Shot. So this is just going to force them to take more time here. Okay, you can trigger the Shredder, more triggers. And I'm going to F6 from this point forward. We don't have anything else we can do. So they just have to kill me from here. There's the Amber again, sure. There's the Ragavan again. I don't think our opponent's going to be able to win in time here. Oh wow, they're doing it again. That seems aggressive. I guess they're grape shotting for 1 extra just to make sure. Opponent just needs to hit the F6 button. I don't know why they haven't done that yet. Grape shots on the stack, resolving. We will be dying here. Alright, that does it. Game 3. Alright, we're going to bring back a Prismari command. A Fable on the play, a Striking Rich on the play. I think we're going to get rid of Persist. Oh, we definitely want Flusterstorm. I don't know why I didn't have that in the deck. Just as much interaction as possible. Like, our game plan here is more so, like, don't lose, more so than it is to win. I think we can shave a Fable. Probably a Bitter Reunion as well. Maybe an Archon. I mean, I just think we just need to just stall. We have 7.5 minutes, they have 2.5 minutes to kill us. Alright, we got 2 lands, we'll keep this. Opponent mulligans to 6. Laid on a Triome, pass turn. They have Bloodstained Mire, and we'll pass turn from here. Is this a Ledger Shredder? Sure. Bobble, we're going to kill the Shredder in response. I'm going to get the Proving Grounds here. And from here, they have 4 cards. I don't think we can lose from here, so I'm going to get this Fable out. And we'll pass from here. Okay, I'm F6 here. Opponent can do their worst. Saga, sure. Emery, sure. Okay, so we have a creativity here. Yeah, we'll use Fable. We'll get rid of the Unsubstantiate. Drew into a Ren 6, sure. We'll swing. We'll get a Dwarven Mine. X is 2. Okay. So those are all the Archons in our deck. Alright, opponent's dead next turn. Unless they can kill us in a minute, they will lose the game. Shock down to 6. Consider. I don't think that's going to do it. They have a breach, sure. They're hesitating, and they scoop. 4-0. Our 3rd straight 5-0. Pretty ridiculous. Another Gigantha deck. Giganthas everywhere. Opening 7. We've got a lot of interaction. I think as long as we draw into lands, this will be fine, so I think we'll keep this. It's not the strongest hand, but it's not bad either. Playing in Stack Fade in 07. 4-0. Opponent mulligans down to 6. Land, fetch, Sacred Foundry, Ragavan. Okay, I think we're happy to see that. Lead on a Steam Vent. Strong a land was good there. And we will bolt down this Ragavan. Pass the turn. Next turn we got a nice little tempo play with either the Spell Pierce or the Unsubstantiate, depending on what our opponent does. Okay, this feels like Domain, based on the Windswept Heath here. We'll see if I'm correct. Okay, Kavu, yes. Alright, so we can unsubstantiate that back to hand, which is nice. Trying another land, not bad. So we'll probably take a hit for 4, and then depending on what they do, go from there. They fetch. Right, so they have full domain at this point. So not doing anything here is good if they don't have another 2-drop. If they do have another 2-drop, we'd kind of want to do something there. Right, and there's a Scion. Scion we can kind of deal with. All right, we're gonna bounce this. We'll take just our basic mountain, turn that to hand. So our life total is being pressured pretty quickly here. Dwarven Mine, not really what we're looking for. We'll shock down to 10 and play out our Fable. So if this Fable survives next turn, we will be able to creativity with Spell Pierce up. So we'll see what they do here. You're gonna down to 6. We'll see if they like opt to put us down to 1. If they have like a Tribal Flames. Okay, so interesting situation here. Bolt is pretty good. Fable, yes. I think we're just gonna discard the Bloodstained Mire here. We drew another creativity, okay. All right, so we're gonna bolt down the Ragavan. We're gonna attack with the Shaman, and then we're gonna creativity for 1 after that. Shaman's gonna die, but they will be sacrificing a creature. Now we will see what they sacrifice from here. So, and now on their turn, if they have a way to get rid of this Archon, like a Binding, they discard another Scion. We will be able to creativity again next turn. We'll be able to creativity for 2. So I think as long as we don't get bindinged into Tribal Flames, I think we'll be okay. So, and I guess that's what they're looking for here. What is this? Invasion of Amonkhet. It's an interesting one. Okay, we will be blocking. And now if they can't get rid of this Archon, they're just dead. Each player mills 3 cards, then an opponent discards a card, and you draw a card. Okay, that's fine. We'll discard a Spell Pierce. Okay, a scoop. We're up 1. All right, playing against Domain here. I feel like Domain might have a way to get rid of our Archon, so we're gonna side out an Archon for an Emrakul. I feel like Thoughtseizes are probably pretty good. This is a lot of cards. Creativity is like really slow. Maybe we shave one of them. Spell Pierce feels medium. Fable is really slow too. Bringing a lot of cards. All right, we're gonna try it like this. All right, we're gonna keep this, and we need to hope they don't have a Kavu. It's kind of how our hand actually works here. Land, fetch, shock, Ragavan. Sure. All right, we're gonna lead on our Proving Grounds here. Okay, no Kavu, fingers crossed. Okay, they got a Lightning Bolt. Okay, Scion. Scion's okay. We can deal with that one. All right, we're gonna get our basic mountain here, and we'll cast a Bitter Union. And we'll discard an Archon. All right, so this is a very good situation on our next turn. The hope is our opponent taps out here. Steam Vents, we're down to 11. 1, 2, another Scion. Sure. Land, sure. Fetch, basic forest. Tribal Flames me down to 6. Okay. So this is not a bad situation. Sack 1, sack 1. Okay, so we're gonna go up to 9 life here. The only problem is we're gonna take a bit off of our lands here. I think we get a Steam Vents down to 3. Persist the Archon. We sack the Ragavan, we're up to 6. All right, so we have to dodge. I guess they don't have another Tribal Flames because they're gonna be discarding their hand. All right, so they have 1 turn to draw Tribal Flames. Played land for turn already. And then we're going to shuffle. Guess we get rid of the Emrakul. All right, do you draw Tribal Flames? No, they drew a land. Okay, we win. 5-0, another one, 3 in a row. My third 5-0 in a row. So we won 15, technically 16 in a row. And this deck just felt unfair. It felt so resilient and like it had answers to everything. It's hard to argue that this isn't the best deck in the format. You know I always say Yawgmoth, best deck in the format. Yawgmoth gets slept on, but this deck was just stupid powerful. It was just really, really powerful and just felt like it could get out of almost any situation with just like creativity into 2 Archons, and like just like that, you're back in the game. Like the life gain from the Archons is huge. Everything. I mean, it's so good. I didn't realize it at the time when I registered this list, but I actually played that with a 14-card sideboard as well. I didn't even have a full sideboard. The list that won the challenge, the showcase challenge this past weekend, or at least went undefeated in the Swiss, they had another Strike It Rich in the sideboard. And whoever it was that just followed, thank you for the follow. So they had another Strike It Rich in the sideboard, and I was going to take that out and add another Expressive Iteration. So I pulled this Strike It Rich, but I forgot to put in the iteration. So we ran through 5-0 with a 14-card sideboard. But If I wasn't so attached to Yawgmoth, I would probably be playing this deck, if I'm being honest. This is just such a good deck, so powerful, and yeah, if you're looking for a plan B, this would be a deck I would recommend for sure. So I'm checking out. Thank you guys for tuning in for another 5-0. I'm going to get the third 5-0. I have it recorded, but I was going to do the format of the video a little bit differently. So I'm going to try to get it out at some point this week, but if not, it's still in the queue somewhere, and we'll get it out at some point. So thank you guys for tuning in. I will see you all again next time, and you know the deal, everybody. Until next time, be well.